There were shocking lapses in the Khalistani terrorist Hardeep Nijjar murder investigations, according to a report. And let me get you details. The Canadian police, according to this report in the Washington Post, were late to the crime scene after Khalistani terrorist Hardeep Nijjar was killed on the 18th of June. Precious time was wasted in a tussle between the Surrey police and the Royal Canadian Mounted Police on who would head the investigations. Police also did not initially question either locals or eyewitnesses or even collect CCTV camera images from the crime scene. Public help was sought to identify suspects only on the 21st of July. So 18th of June who was killed, 21st of July public help was sought, more than a month after the killing. And the police took close to 2 months to seek help to identify the silver Toyota vehicle. And on the broadcast, we will get to these shocking details of what's being now described as a botched investigation in the killing of the Khalistani terrorist Hardeep Nijjar. 18th of June was when he was killed. Today, it's the 26th of September. More than 3 months into this investigation, police in Canada, they do not have a single suspect. They don't have a single accused in custody, let alone a charge sheet or evidence. And yet, based on some claimed intelligence input, Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau sought to blame India. Is this how investigations are carried out and allies blamed in a country that claims to follow rule-based order? I'm Gaurav Sawant. Much more on this big story. But first, as always, the headlines on India First. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar calls out Canada over support to Khalistani, says political convenience cannot determine response to terrorism and extremism. Kaveri water war boils over, massive protests in Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. Water Management Board asks for 3,000 cusecs of water to be released to Tamil Nadu. Mega Maryada Purushottam Sri Ram Mandir consecration to be held next year. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to attend the Pran Pratishtha ceremony on the 22nd of January 2024. India clinches the historic equestrian gold medal at the Asian Games, breaks a 41-year-old drought. India's medal tally rises to 14. And India Today Group founder and editor-in-chief Arun Puri honored by the All India Management Association. Arun Puri felicitated with the Managing India Award for lifetime contribution to media. Our top story, 50 bullets were fired in the direction of Canadian Khalistani terrorist Hardeep Singh Nijjar on the 18th of June. 34 bullets hit him. Anywhere in the world, anywhere, there would have been nationwide outrage and demand to arrest the accused immediately. In Canada, police arrived late to the crime scene. Now this, according to a report in the Washington Post. And then there was reportedly a tussle between the Surrey police and the Royal Canadian Mounted Police on who would head investigations. No efforts apparently were made initially to speak to locals or pick up CCTV images from near the crime scene. We bring you much more on what's now being described as a botched up investigation in Canada.
Canadian security agencies have been actively pursuing credible allegations of a potential link between agents of the government of India and the killing of a Canadian citizen, Hardeep Singh Nijjar.
An allegation that India vehemently rejected from the very beginning. Accusations regarding the murder of Hardeep Singh Nijjar, the Canadian government contends, were partly based on intelligence shared by a key member of the Five Eyes alliance. In an unexpected turn of events, a Washington Post report has now turned those very allegations on their head. The Washington Post report, relying on CCTV footage and witness interviews, suggests possible lapses in policing and intelligence on the day of the killing at the Gurdwara in Surrey. Investigators failed to adequately inform members of the local Sikh community about their inquiry into the June 18th killing. Police response was reportedly delayed. Intra-agency disagreements further prolonged the investigation. Residents also claim that investigators did not promptly request access to the CCTV footage. The Washington Post also provided an account of the 90-second security camera footage capturing Nijjar's murder. According to the news report, a sedan blocked Nijjar's truck as he attempted to leave the Gurdwara parking lot. Two individuals wearing hooded sweatshirts emerged from the car, brandishing a firearm at the truck's driver's seat. Subsequently, investigators discovered that 50 bullets were fired during that incident. 34 of them struck Nijjar. The sedan fled the scene and the perpetrators remained at large. The Gurdwara leader even mentioned the discovery of a tracking device attached to Nijjar's car wheel. If this doesn't constitute a failure in Canadian law enforcement and intelligence, then what does? Bureau Report, India Today.
So let's try and make sense of these developments. So what are these credible allegations that speak of a potential link that Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau relied on to blame agents of India? Was it Langar gossip? Joining me on India First is White Claypool. Senior journalist, works for the National Telegraph, joins us from Alberta, Canada. Dr. Vikram Singh is a former Director General of Police, is an ace investigator himself. My first question is to India Today's Anisha Mathur, who joins us live from Canada. Anisha, any evidence, any suspects, any details of probe shared by the police in Canada so far?
Well, Gaurav, we've been speaking to the people here. I'm, of course, on the other side of Canada. I'm in Toronto, and I'm trying to speak to people in both Vancouver and Toronto right now. And what is being said repeatedly by people here, by politicians here, is that they are also waiting for credible evidence. Just yesterday, we've got news reports where a former Solicitor General of British Columbia, Mr. Heed, has in fact questioned why there was some sort of a delay in the investigation, how this kind of politicization of this issue was allowed to happen in the first place. Now, of course, we're discussing this Washington Post story where it seems that the investigative reporting has revealed that the police has had a turf war initially between the municipal and federal police, and then there has been claims made by the locals there in Surrey that for several days they have not even been questioned by the police. So a lot of questions are being raised about the investigation, about what is happening really, and its impact on the India-Canada relationship.
You know, what's extremely interesting is the fact that has Justin Trudeau's statement actually prejudiced the investigation? Can there be a free, fair and impartial investigation when the Prime Minister already says so-and-so is the accused, when there is no evidence to say that? And let me bring in White Claypool for more on this. White, Hardeep Nijjar was shot dead on the 18th of June. Today is the 26th of September. What should we make of the probe in Canada if there are no accused, no arrest, no charge sheet in the case yet, and India is being blamed by the Prime Minister of Canada?
Well, that's the whole frustrating thing about the case right now, is that even if Justin Trudeau has really good evidence, he hasn't shown anyone, you don't accuse anyone without actually laying the evidence down. I don't really like this whole take my word for it kind of a thing. But in Canada, when you actually read about how the investigation was handled, it sounds like we're going to be very lucky if we actually ever get to the point where we can prove who did it, whether it was just some random mob hit, whether it was the Indian government or whether it was just some random person. Because the thing is that when you actually read how this was done, is that as soon as the murder took place, there was effectively several hours of the RCMP and local police fighting over jurisdiction. They never asked local businesses for security tapes of the shooting, and there's a lot of other things that happened that were effectively just allowing whoever did this to get away with it. It's going to be extremely difficult to find someone when you basically gave them a 10-hour head start, it seems like.
Dr. Vikram Singh, what would you make of this? It's been 3 months, and the faux pas, if I may, or the problems in the investigations, and Justin Trudeau's already blaming India. Sir, is this probe now already damaged? Because if the head of the government already has an accused in mind, can the police carry out an impartial investigation?
Gauravji, Mr. Claypool and Anisha have laid out extremely very well that the investigation has been damaged beyond any repair now. What has happened initially, the jurisdictional dispute between RCMP and the Surrey police, then not to get the CCTV footages, then not to ask the eyewitnesses. And also you can well imagine that it was a very important part of Canada that a person fully loaded with arms and ammunition emptied so many bullets into Ulysses Nijjar and then got away with it. And no clue whatsoever. You really have to try very hard to have this kind of a dismal situation and make you look like a sad sack. And absolutely a picture of incompetence. I would not say that incompetence, but yes, you really have to try very hard to give an impression that you are so unprofessional. Now, Gauravji, the investigation part. The damage has been done. You have rendered people hostile. And what Prime Minister Trudeau has said, in fact, is nothing short of a wild allegation. No merit, no substance, no proof, no evidence. What I-5 say, they have, of course, technological intelligence, but technological intelligence cannot be all and the end all. And no court in the world would ensure a conviction only on the basis of technical intelligence. I may be talking to you, but that is only what the technical intelligence will tell you. What I'm talking about will not be revealed by technical intelligence. Therefore, the Canadian police have not done their homework. They have bungled it up very badly and have compromised the investigation beyond redemption. I do hope
it's
that
compromised beyond redemption, you say. Why, Claypool, has Justin Trudeau jumped the gun blaming India when reports indicate that the police were late in questioning the witnesses or collecting CCTV images? Public help was only sought for the first time on the 21st of July, more than a month later, and help to identify the Toyota Camry was done only on the 16th of August.
Well, the thing is that the problem right now is that we're heading into a case where there's probably not going to be the ability to really say who did it. And just because Justin Trudeau and the Five Eyes have signals evidence where maybe someone texted something who was an Indian official on the ground that sounds like he would be interested in seeing Nijjar gone, that's not enough to actually prove who did anything. That's not something that would hold up in court. And I think that when you're actually dealing with allies, you have to bring cases, you have to make accusations that would actually hold up in court, not just giving your best guess on what might have happened and then trying to basically throw your ally under the bus for it. It's one of those situations where you're just going to have everyone on all sides blaming each other, and no one can agree on the facts because they just didn't have enough when they made the accusation.
And Anisha, if you were to look at this case legally, you need to have mens rea, motive for murder. And clearly there is no motive that is established. India is on a high when it comes to our success in G20 and Chandrayaan. Wouldn't want to be linked up to some third-rate terrorist being killed when anyways an effort is being made to have him extradited to India.
Well, Gaurav, as you know, I cover legal issues as far as our coverage in India is concerned, and looking at it from a legal perspective, being a lawyer, these are issues that are going to be a very, very crucial question now. If there was a bungle in the investigation, if there was a delay in the investigation, if there was a turf war between the federal and provincial police, if there was a delay in getting the CCTV footage or questioning the eyewitnesses or any persons around, And from what we see in these reports is the fact that the identification of those people and even the car that was allegedly used in this crime was not done on time. Going by the fact that India and Canada have a similar kind of criminal law, we're all based in the common law British criminal law system. These are questions that even the court, if this case ever goes to trial, is going to ask. At the moment, from what we do know, there is no identified accused person. We don't know who are these people, who are the shooters. At the moment, at least, the Canadian police or the sources have not made any revelations with regard to who these shooters were, whether they have been identified. So all of this is going to become a big bone of contention and a big question mark on the policing and prosecution system in Canada when and if this matter ever goes to trial. But at the same time, looking at it from a political and social perspective, we may not know who the shooters are, we may not know who are the people actually involved, but for the people here in Canada, for the Sikh population and the Indian population in Canada, the fact that such a huge allegation was made by the Prime Minister has created a lot of tensions and a lot of concerns.
I mean, what an irresponsible statement by a head of government, and Justin Trudeau should have thought this through. At least that's what is expected of a head of government. But Dr. Vikram Singh, 50 bullets fired into a vehicle, 34 hit this terrorist. Prima facie, this would be some kind of a gangland hit. But speculation apart, what would you make of the Canadian police not being able to follow this through with evidence, and the Prime Minister blaming India? Has this probe been damaged permanently? Has it been prejudiced permanently?
Gauravji, extremely significant points have been made by the esteemed panelists. I would only reiterate what Anisha ji and Mr. Claypool have said. 1, 50 bullets were found, 34 hit them in the vital parts. 2, Nijjar also has a criminal history and is a proclaimed offender and a wanted criminal of the NIA and a wanted accused in many offences. Number 3, gang wars do happen, and this has the telltale signs and the footprints of a gang warfare on the basis of loot or animosity or both, because I have seen gang warfare and how the gangs operate. Under these circumstances, Gauravji, this has to be investigated. Now, the lopsided manner in which the investigation was conducted, delay in jurisdiction, delay in taking up the investigation, delay in picking up the identity of the car, delay in identifying the weapon and the assailants, delay everywhere. Under these circumstances, the element of doubt, and as Anisha has very cogently articulated, the benefit of doubt goes to the accused. Therefore, I would say, with so many lacuna in the investigation that have already crept in, presuming that you get the accused, presuming you get the weapon also, presuming you get an extrajudicial confession also, these lacunae and a smart lawyer will see to it that the case falls flat on its face.
Unless Justin Trudeau's only aim was to make a political point and try and put India on the back foot, where again, he's clearly failed. To all my esteemed guests for joining me here on this India First special, many thanks. But I want to now get you the good news today. The India Today Group founder and editor-in-chief, Arun Puri, has been honored by the All India Management Association. Arun Puri has been felicitated with the Managing India Award for a lifetime contribution to media. Arun Puri, who is one of the longest serving editors in India, was recognized for setting standards for print, television and internet journalism throughout his long career. Arun Puri was hailed as a pioneering media entrepreneur and a fearless editor who set a benchmark for publishing standards and led many transformations in Indian news media over the past half a century. Many congratulations, Mr. Arun Puri, and a big honor for the India Today Group at the IMA Awards.
I believe journalism is a noble profession, for it carries a social responsibility, just like doctors and teachers. There must be a certain code of conduct, although it is like a business, and the medical profession is too, but it still has a social responsibility. In journalism, seeking the truth as best as you can and presenting it objectively. That's the aim. Today, this is even more important in today's environment, where there's an epidemic of fake news, which is going to get further aggravated by AI. Truth is becoming, danger of becoming an endangered species. And there's a tsunami of digital information, and of course there's WhatsApp University, which lots of people get their unverified information from. It is therefore imperative that journalism has to step up to the plate and do its job honestly. And it's required for Indian democracy to survive.
I have known Arun for a long time, and he certainly contributed the media which he has pioneered in India, has certainly made a huge impact on the lives of a whole lot of people in this country.
Arun Puri, the visionary man behind India Today and the India Today group, he's a real, true media pioneer. I mean, with his leadership role in the media, Thomson Press, TV Today, vast range of magazines, internet, television media, he's reshaped journalism in India in a manner in which nobody else has. And I've grown up reading India Today, so I can tell you that Arun's commitment to storytelling, his media excellence, has truly been inspiring for me.
And he leads by example. Many congratulations, Mr. Arun Puri, and a big honor for the India Today group at the IMA Awards. That is all I have time for on India First this evening. Many thanks for watching.